smokes, it's actually working. It is actually working. Alrighty. Well, welcome everyone who's here or going to be here later or watching the replay. My tether's finally working on this stupid iPhone. So did a few changes tonight, and unfortunately it's so late in the evening, it's early morning here, and I may have only half hour more before the sun comes up. So I'm just going to give you a quick run through of what I've done. Show a couple of nice objects. I won't do any deep sky stuff then, it's just not time. So let's go take this down here. Alright, so I'm using a program called Stellarium. It's basically a free, I forgot if it's just free or open source. It's one of the two or both or whatever. I forgot. It's been a long night, but anyway, it's a really nice virtual planetarium program. If I zoomed in here and turned everything on, you would see like satellites whizzing by, and you can do everything from showing quasars, where pulsars are, as well as the standard deep sky objects. You can mark meteor showers out, you can do all kinds of stuff. And as you can see, I'm actually looking at Saturn right now, which is getting close to setting. See the compass headings here, the cardinal points. I got west, and then southwest, and then that way. So Saturn's almost down. The orange crosshair is actually my telescope, synced via a special cable, a special driver called ASCOM, to hook my Meade LX85 motor drive, clock drive, to through the control box, a little hand box thingy, to the software. It's pretty clever stuff. Scope is an 8-inch Meade astrograph f4, very fast little scope. I have a Nikon camera to plug into it. It's a Nikon Z6 II mirrorless camera that's going basically prime focus. I was going to do without eyepiece adjustment or eyepiece projection, but the image of Saturn was so small, I'm going to try and do an eyepiece projection thing here shortly. I just want to give you guys a quick run through of the changes I've done here with the software and some other things. So, I can move around at will with the software. And I can, let me just resize this because I can't see the chat. All right. Let me make sure that one other thing is correct. Where is my... There it is. Just checking that this is set correctly. Always fun having to tweak this stuff on the fly. Bear with me here, I'm doing some stuff in the background on YouTube just to check a few settings. Content. looks like it's set correctly, so that's good. Just making sure. Hard to tell sometimes. Okay. Back to the stream before I run out of nighttime here. Alright, so a real quick run through of the software. You have this little dock down here that you can do lots of quick adjustments on. For those, in future streams I'll turn some of this stuff on so you guys get a better picture of what's going on, but turn on the constellation lines so you can see where you are. You can turn on the constellation names. So as you can see, Saturn is in Aquarius right there. Aquarius is part of the zodiac. So 12 constellations of the zodiac. So if you quickly jump through here, you have Aquarius, you have Pisces. You can see there's Jupiter there. The zodiac is pretty much lined up with the ecliptic, which is the plane of our solar system. So all the planets, the moon, and so forth are roughly in that zone. So this is where astrology kind of got its thing, where this planet is in the house of this constellation or whatever. And what's funny is with planetary shifting, with orbital precession and a bunch of other things with proper motion of the stars throughout time, astrology no longer lines up 100% with the stars. So you could say, oh, this planet is in this constellation, this house of whatever. But as you can see, there's several constellations near the zodiac. So something could be, instead of Pisces, it could be in Cetus, the whale. Or it could be, you know, Ophiuchus or something like that. So just a funny little thing about that is, you look at what's in the horoscope in the newspaper, and you look up in the sky, a lot of times it doesn't match. So that's a whole other topic for another night. But anyway, so just what's fun is you can see the constellation boundaries. I mean the shapes. There's also boundaries. You have these little lines that show the regions. You can also turn on the artwork. So if you're not familiar with what the shapes actually mean, so Cygnus the swan, which is going down. There's the head is actually this down this way, and the eye of the swan is called Alberio, which is a beautiful double star, which I'll show sometime. The tail end of the swan has Deneb, which is a very bright star. There's actually a fun thing in the summer sky called the summer triangle, and basically, since most of it is set already, you're only seeing part of it. But it's Deneb and Cygnus, Vega and Lyra, and Altair and Aquila the eagle. It forms a summer triangle. It's a very bright formation of stars. So anyway, that's real basic. The program's super complicated and crazy if you want to get all nuts with it, but this is like the most basic functions of it, turning various things on and off. So you can basically do armchair astronomy. You don't even have to go outside. But the fun thing is having your scope follow your thing. Now you can see my alignment's off a little bit because I was in a hurry to get the damn sprinklers run in the field I normally set up in, and I waited for about an hour in the field, and then I had some other tech issues. I couldn't even get online for a while and stuff. So I'll stop complaining because I'm actually glad it's working now. And then of course, astronomy software here, you show the horizon just to give you the realistic view. You can turn this off and you can see what's below the horizon and have a complete sky globe of all the stars with no impedance. So it's good. It's a fun way to see what's coming up and what's went down, and helps you learn the sky a little bit better. But for simulation purposes, it's nice to have the horizon on, just so when you go outside, this is what you're going to see. Anyway, I also can turn on some deep sky objects, which is nebulae, which are gas clouds where stars are in process of formation, or there could be stellar nurseries, there could be stars, coming and going, various colors, different chemicals forming the gas clouds based on activity in the clouds. You have reflection nebula, emission nebula. You have star clusters that have nebulosity, like the Pleiades, which I showed the one night with my iPhone, which was a bad look, but you got the idea of it. And you have galaxies, and you have other things that are considered deep sky objects. So they're marked as different symbols, and I can go over that some other time. So this would be a globular cluster here. That little crosshair with the circle is a globular cluster. And anyway, so I should take a look at the planets real quick before the sun comes up and I lose my image. One thing I can do as well with the software, which is fun, is let me go back to OBS here real quick. And if you look at this, oh no, don't close the program. That's a glitch on Stellarium. When you shrink it so it's not full screen, occasionally you hit the menu bar and it thinks you tried to close it. So that's lovely. Let me reopen Stellarium again and reconnect to the scope. So if you look in the upper corner of the stream right now, there's that webcam utility. That's an icon utility that lets you stream from a DSLR or mirrorless camera that's modern enough to use the utility. And what's fun is I can show you guys live views through that corner image for bright stuff, the planets, the moon, stuff like that, some star clusters. For stuff I need to take longer exposures like the deep sky objects, nebulae, galaxies, things like that, I'll need to take time exposures. And there's a toggle I have to do in OBS to actually turn off this utility. And what's going on here? Sorry, I'm getting a little spotty connection here. Hey Matt, how's it going? Sorry, I've been screwing around with this stuff and I missed the chat. Yeah, for some reason Stellarium has the wrong time in it now, which is lovely. It's supposed to automatically grab the time for you. Oh, and I think I closed it again because I clicked the wrong screen. Yeah, the non-full screen Stellarium is kind of for the birds because it's. I needed to navigate all the stuff on one screen, but if you click the wrong part of the box, it thinks you're closing it. So again, this is a test stream. There's going to be glitches and other silly stuff. My goal is to at least get a few nice images to you guys of Jupiter and Saturn before the stream dies or the sun comes up. Come on, Stellarium. Come on, man. I'm already getting some. Looks like I'm getting the edge of morning glow in the distance there. But it's not this bright. The software is confused. Shrink this down. And they have this like zoom thing. You can zoom with the mouse, which is kind of fun. Let's go back here. Let's turn you back to a window. And let's change the time. That's not it. This should be a quick button for time, but I don't know the hotkeys for this thing yet. So there should be a way to do time. Here we go. System time. Yeah, it's just use system date and time, which I'm doing. And it's not using daytime because it's not sunny yet. Boy, oh boy. Come on. Use Use current. No. System date, etc. You have to manually set this, you stupid thing. No, I didn't say that. I did that. Boy, oh boy. 23, yes. Use current. System date and time. There should be a little button at the bottom here, maybe. It's just not my luck today. Alright, you know what? I'm not going to monkey with this too much because it's kind of a waste of time. So let's concentrate on getting some images of Saturn and Jupiter before we lose them. So let's try hooking this up, make sure Saturn's still where it needs to be. Good old motor drive keeps it pretty centered. OBS looks like it's reconnecting. Okay, so that is centered. This image looks pretty good. Yeah, this stream is not 100% stable, unfortunately. Let's see if we can get this guy to behave. Now for the fun part. Sometimes when you insert this stuff and the scope isn't 100% locked down, you lose the image entirely. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's adjust it a little bit so it's in the center. And one thing I forgot is to hook the damn USB cable. Bear with me, I'm gonna go grab it real quick. Yeah, just not my day. Hey everybody, got some more people. Have Beast, how's it going? Homegrown. Yeah, you missed earlier. Stellarium crashed, and then it came back with the wrong time and date settings for some reason. And now it's the correct date, but the time is wrong. And I chose system settings, it didn't want to behave, so I said, you know what, I give up. This is really about the pictures today. So let's get some pictures before we lose the light, or the darkness I should say, and we lose the stream because my tethering is wonky today. So now I'm hooking up my, come on, USB. There's my USB setup. And let me check one more thing. Oh well, I think I'll have to cable it home. Just perfect for the rest of the night, how it's been. Okay, you guys see that in there? It's a little, there you go. That's a shot of Saturn. I'm trying to blow it up a little bit so you can see it better. It's looking a little orangey yellow for some reason. Okay, let's just tap this way. Let's get the focus to behave. Unfortunately, I apologize for the focus because I didn't have time to collimate. It's not going to be ideal. So you get the idea. It's definitely Saturn. It's just a little bit off, so I apologize. Again, it's a test stream, so. And I'm going to lose my darkness pretty soon, so I'm going to hurry up through this. You guys see that okay? You see the rings? You're not getting Cassini's division, and you're not getting any good detail on the cloud structure. But on good nights, in the right setup, you can, for sure. If I change the exposure, you should be able to see Triton at least if it's out, not behind the planet. And another cool thing about the software I was using is all of the planets have at least the major moons listed in the matrix. So as you zoom in into the interface further and further and further, you don't have to open a separate browser for the moons. So you can see Jupiter's major moons, you can see Saturn's major moons inside the software, and then just zoom in and out dynamically. So it's really cool for this kind of presentation. See if I can push it a little bit further. No, it's as far as I can go with this eyepiece projection and this digital zoom. But hopefully it looks all right. You guys can let me know if it's terrible or not. And this Jupiter's at a good angle right now. It's presenting just the right amount of the face of the rings, and the gap is very nice, and the planet this is a nice orientation. So I need to set up with more time on a better night when things aren't all going wrong, and when I get a really clear image. I didn't even bother checking the ISO settings on this and the shutter speed. I'm just kind of turning it until it looks good, because I can't see it from the angle I'm at right now. So, but you get the idea. I can make a much better image than this, much bigger image than this, when everything else isn't failing me tonight. So, but I'm just happy I got this far. So at least that's going on. And so let's go to Saturn. Let me just make sure I don't set this and knock the laptop over. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg setup right now. Let's go to Saturn. Neptune's up too, but with the Saturn not looking this good with this setup, I'm not going to bother going to Neptune. Jupiter always looks good. So listen, you can hear the motor drive going here. Slewing to Saturn. For some reason it's taking the long way around. I'm not complaining. Scope it's funny, they've programmed the scope to figure out the most efficient angle for long-term viewing, so you don't get your coils all, get your wires all crossed, and also get other problems with the orientation. Now I have to relocate my laptop. Okay, and the damn sprinklers are on again. God, I can't believe that. Okay, let's zoom out. There it is in the center. Let me just center it here, and I'll do the digital zoom. It's got 25 megapixels to play with, so I can cheat it with this webcam feature. Change the exposure a bit so I can get the moons. There you go. You guys see the moons there? They got the 4 Galilean moons are all visible in a nice line. Fix the focus again. Now the planet, because I wanted to show the moons, in this setup the disk is a little bit washed out. You can't see the equatorial belts. But I'll leave that up for a bit so you guys can enjoy that. With the moons. Sorry, it's wobbly, I keep touching the camera. Now I can zoom in a bit more, make it kind of ridiculous. Some artifacts here on the image. Again, I didn't collimate the optics, so considering that, it's a pretty good image. So there's the planet with the moons. Okay, and you can see this in a department store telescope. This isn't as impressive as you would think. Even in binoculars, a good 10 by 50 pair of binoculars held steady up to your eyes, and you get used to looking at it, you can see the moons just as well. It's just a lot smaller, but they're so incredibly bright and clear. So let me go ahead and tweak. I think the ISO's messed up here too. Let me fix the ISO a little bit because it's giving some weird artifacts. And then let me fix the shutter speed so it's not so washed out, and you should get some features on the disc once I focus it better. Again, it's not going to be ideal because I didn't prep the optics properly. There's actually a bit of a ghosting there, which is kind of crap. So had I set this up correctly, you would get a nice, clear, defined disc and two nice equatorial belts, kind of a light rusty color. Those are the most prominent features in a standard telescope, standard conditions. You can see the great red spot. You can see, oops. Trying to recenter it here so it presents itself better. I don't know if I can push it anymore. Might even look better if I zoom out a bit. But it's nice to have the bigger image at least. So if I do some adjustments here. Sorry, the wiggle, I'm touching the camera a bunch, so that's the wrong direction. Crank the ISO down, shutter speed is down a bit. So it's a little fainter than before, but if, like I said, if I had the optics set up as usual, you would see the equatorial belts. You get a little more of this kind of pale cream color to it now, instead of a washed out white color you get normally when, if you saw my iPhone stream, when I was just using the iPhone bolted to the telescope, YouTube didn't let you do anything with the exposure. So it's just a washed out white image. And I had forgotten until I started playing with the moon that I could do the stop down mask with my hand or a piece of paper. And if you watch the moon actually looked pretty good after a while because I was providing my own mask with my hand. That's the cool thing about equatorial scopes is they gather all the light coming in, and it's not till the light's focused by the primary mirror up to the secondary mirror, which goes to the eyepiece, that you resolve the image. So you can block the light, you can do whatever you want to do to the incoming light, and like a rheostat control the brightness without screwing up the image. You cannot do that with the refracting scope with two lenses or more, because it's resolving straight from the objective all the way to the eyepiece. If you put your hand in front, you just block the image. So that's one of the advantages, not just for light gathering capability for faint stuff, but also dynamic control of your exposure without even touching a camera, just affecting your scope aperture. It's pretty fun, actually. So anyway, it's a fuzzy Jupiter, I apologize. But hey, at least I got it on the stream. I wasn't even going to bother trying to take good pictures tonight off stream because all the issues I had. So I thought at least get it up there, show you guys the software. If you missed it earlier, go ahead and start the stream when it's done. And you can see the astronomy software I'm using before I went crazy and thought it was daylight when it's not daylight yet. But I was very happy earlier tonight to resolve my ASCOM driver thing, so the scope communicates properly with the thing. If you do check out the software that's still running, even though it's saying daylight and it's not, you can still see that when I went to, oh, it's going to close again. It keeps thinking I hit close, and I did not hit close. Maybe this time it will actually behave. What do you want? It's free software, right? I wonder if that's a bug report. I'm going to have to talk to these guys. Hey Dave, yeah, sorry, it's just the same loop I'm using because I'm lazy. I didn't get another capture of ambient music, so it's the same loop I've used on the Micro Addict stream a couple times. Okay, still thinks it's daylight, and it's not daylight yet. You stupid software. If I go back here and choose time, and you choose system time, and it's on system time, and it's not right. What a dumb program. I'll play a little more later, but anyway, you can see even when it's daylight, you can see where my crosshair is. The sun is up. The sun is not up yet. But it still should show my crosshair. There it is. See? So you can see I'm still looking at Jupiter with the software. The communication with the program is good. The program's just not behaving correctly. And if I zoom in, I was talking about that before, I should just do it. Zoom in, you'll see the moons. You can see which one is which. Come on. There you go. And you can see the software is drifting a little bit. You can see the rotation. It's mimicking the rotation of the Earth. But my crosshair is still following it. So if I zoom in, oh, I'm losing my thing on the camera too. Sorry. Let me fix that. So if I switch this back so you can see the moons. To overexpose it so you can see the moons again. Let me zoom out. And I can see the live moon layout and compare it with the software. There you go. So Ganymede's at the top. Well, one of them looks like it might be doing... The fun thing about Jupiter is you get shadow transits as they go in front of behind the planet as well as in front of the planet. So when it goes in front of the planet at the right angle, we get shadow transits. And I brought my big scope with me to NAMM, and then after NAMM I went up to Yosemite back in, what was that, April I think it was, and I had an awesome view of a Ganymede shadow transit on Jupiter. I wasn't even planning to see. I just went up there, saw what I could see. Oh wait, that's Ganymede. It's doing a shadow transit. So it's kind of special to see that stuff. So now you can see live what you're looking at in a picture and live in the software, and match your moons, and hopefully that makes it more fun for you guys so you can kind of follow what's going on in the real sky. Go back to minimal view so I can see what I'm doing. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Hey, more guys showed up. Original Synth. Who else is here? Text is so small in this damn chat box. I'm on a portable laptop just because it's easier instead of lugging a big old laptop around. Chris said, how's it going? More folks. Appreciate you guys showing up. Again, apologize for some of the crap that's going on this stream as well as last time. At least this time it stayed up. The tether worked. Last time the tether worked for 30 seconds. So I left it up there just because it was a decent shot of Saturn. But it was very disappointing. But tonight I had, if you listen back, I had trouble with the field being watered by sprinklers that wasn't supposed to happen. And tethering problems and a bunch of other stuff. So one of these nights I'll have hopefully a perfect night where I have hours of uninterrupted problems, clear images, and the camera will be set up perfectly, and the angels will be singing. So now it's early dawn, so you can still have a decent look at Jupiter even though the sky is getting pretty bright, because the sun is still not up. It's probably another 20 minutes before it comes up. But Saturn's basically down toward the trees, but it's faint enough that it's not visible now. It's much fainter right now than Jupiter is. Jupiter's just so damn bright. It's almost as bright as Venus right now. So it's, in fact, where is Venus? I have to keep track. I think Venus is near the sun right now, which is near, I think it sets. I think Venus is setting with the sun right now, with the crescent moon. So as that comes around, I'll get some good shots of that. And one of these days I'll go actually get a shot of Mercury. Mercury's tough because at its best, it's no higher than 18 degrees above the horizon. So with all the mountains around here, I can't even see Mercury. It's just behind mountains all the time. I have to actually go to the coast or up on the coast range, which has an unencumbered view. And then I can actually see it. There was actually a really cool alignment about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, where just going to the local Walgreens parking lot at 4 in the morning when it was nice and dark still, I could look up in the sky and I could see Mars, and they're pretty much in order too, which is really cool. So Venus was low, and then Mars, and then Jupiter and Saturn. And I think Uranus was there, but it's hard to see without some assistance. And I think the moon was there as well. So it's a huge alignment going across the sky, which doesn't happen that nicely that often, especially in order like that, where it's you know, sometimes with retrograde you actually get, you know, the planets in slightly different orders based on where we are in our orbit. But it was pretty special, and I just had enough time to remember, oh shit, I forgot about that. Take a glance and go, oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. So I was pretty happy about that. Really hard to capture though, because it's a wide part of the sky. It's, you know, it's essentially probably 60 degrees of the sky, and you need to take a bunch of shots and stitch them together, essentially. Okay. What else we got here? Read through the chat a little bit because I've been neglecting it. There's a little bit of drift because my polar alignment was not that great. On top of that, my collimation wasn't that great. So I'm getting Jupiter drifting a bit. You're going to notice it even more because I've zoomed in a lot on the camera. So any errors are amplified with the zooming. So I could just keep adjusting it here. But compared to my normal scope, which is called the Dobsonian mount, which is a lazy Susan with a big old scope on top of it, what's human powered, there's no motor. I'm the motor. And there's no counteracting the Earth's rotation. So at this magnification, you saw how fast the planet was going across the screen in the software. That's how fast it goes, or maybe a little bit faster depending on the magnification. So I'm constantly adjusting the scope just to look at something. You can't really study very easily with more than a few seconds to a minute, and then you got to keep adjusting it. And we have these star parties with the public. I'm constantly adjusting it for people with this big line in my scope to look at stuff. But it's fun, and it's an interactive thing with people, and while other people are waiting there asking other questions and chatting and talking about their day in Yosemite or whatever. So it's a lot of fun, but it's really, really manual. And it's worth it for the giant optics and the huge, beautiful views of faint galaxies and stuff that this scope can't do without pictures. But because it has no drive and no way to track anything, you can't really take any pictures with it because it's just static. You just get a big smear. So I've taken digiscope shots where I hover a point and shoot or iPhone over the eyepiece, and I've got some really good pictures of Mars and Saturn and Jupiter and the moon and stuff that way. Because they're very bright objects, the shutter speed's very quick. But you also have to match the aperture, what they call the exit pupil of the eyepiece. And you know, as you start using this stuff, you'll see there's this period where you're too far back, you get this like tunnel vision. And as you get closer and closer and closer, your eye takes in the whole view. And then you can see it. But if you're hovering with an iPhone or a camera on top of eyepiece, it's easy to get it all screwed up and not see it very well. It's getting cut off because of the exit pupil. So they sell these brackets where you can attach your camera to an eyepiece. And I've been using those for a long time until I finally bought this thing because it's a proper clock drive. And so the clock drive is going in right ascension, which is basically celestial longitude. So it's basically longitude projected into the sky, and then celestial latitude is called declination. So latitudes in degrees, minutes and seconds, and the right ascension is in hours, minutes, and seconds. So when you look at a chart, it's a little confusing for the first time if you don't know astronomy much, and you're like, what is this? And this is the method to the madness. So it still looks okay in the scope, but it's getting quite bright here now. And I'm kind of in the street, and I don't want to get hit by a car as these people start coming out of their houses. So I think I'm going to call it. But it was fairly successful. At least some of the stuff worked. The images obviously will be much better in other streams once I pick a stable location where it's not sprinklers going off and I can collimate and tweak the camera a bit more. But getting better each time. So thanks guys for all your patience and your interest. And it's great to be able to share this because I love doing star parties, but with pandemic and fires in Yosemite and all kinds of other issues, I haven't been able to do a star party. I can't remember last time, 4 years ago maybe, with the club that I'm in, the astronomy club, and even some random guys I used to hang out with at some local sites around here. They're not going out that much anymore just because other stuff's going on. So it's pretty much just me and the scope. And so be able to share it with you guys around the world and anyone else who stumbles across the stream is pretty fun and pretty special. So it's I hope you guys enjoyed it, and just know that I enjoyed having you guys here and sharing the stuff with you. Now I just got a jogger running by me here, so it's that time of the morning, everyone's jogging. So Yeah, these will get better. So proof of concept successful. Just need to tailor it some more and pick a better spot where I'm not at the mercy of my environment so much, because the field setup last time was good, but then I had tethering problems and miscellaneous cloud problems, and tonight would have been perfect, but damn sprinklers. And so you never know. It's part of the excitement of setting up live anything. And I don't know why tethering wasn't that good last time and it's good this time. It's the same location, who knows? So I'm not going to complain because it worked. So anyway, I'm babbling at this point. I gotta finally get some sleep because I only slept about 2 hours last night before I came to set up. So thanks again, everybody. Anyone who watches this after the fact, feel free to leave comments and questions and requests and all that kind of stuff. When I get it all dialed in, I'll be able to do like live requests, because you can see with the Planetarium software, I can just jump around anywhere, and it's super easy. I barely even have to touch the controls except to correct the offset, and I can spend more time chatting and taking pictures and sharing them and working on the deep sky images. That will be fun. We get to see galaxies and nebulae and things like that. So anyway, that's gonna do it, I think. Thanks everybody, and I appreciate it as usual, and peace out. Keep looking up and watch the stars. Watch out for those aliens you're supposedly finding now. All that bullshit. Okay guys, we'll see ya.